get started. You are gonna really enjoy this. But first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm beyond excited to be here. I am so thankful for Women Tech Network creating this event. Man. I wish when I was probably 6 years ago in my career, I had this. And I don't know, probably it existed, but anyway, I'll walk you a little bit through the journey and what exactly is discovering your professional value statement in 3 simple steps. Okay, so let's get started. Welcome. I'm so thankful for everyone being here. And one of the main things, the main takeaways that I want to have from being here is that I want to applaud you being here because I know when it comes to your own messaging, your own branding, it's not an easy thing. For me, it took a lot. And that's why now I'm presenting this simplified process, how you can really leverage your knowledge, little or much that you have, how you can really use it to talk to the industry, to talk to the company, your dream company that you want to work for, or even if you need this authentic message to move into the next role, this is what you need, your professional value statement. This is a tool in a couple of sentences where you get to really communicate to whoever you're talking to what is what you bring to the table. And I think that is so important nowadays that we are confident in what we know we do, right? And we talk also the business need of, of our industry. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so you are in the right place if you have been exactly what I was talking about. I talk with a lot of young professionals in STEM, and a lot of things they mention is that experience is one of the things that it feels like a limiting factor, mainly because you have your school knowledge, maybe you have some internship knowledge, but when you get into the workforce or even in academia, in whatever field you're developing yourself, you see all these people already with so much experience, so much competition out there, and you ask yourself, okay, how in the world I'm going to stand out? What do I really have to offer? And asking yourself those questions can be so hard. But thanks to all this, it's going to be so easy. So you are in the right place if you are struggling to really communicate in a way that is authentic to yourself, that you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm speaking more than I am, right? This is the right place if you feel that the competition out there is just, you cannot differentiate yourself. And before we start, I forgot to mention a couple of things. So the presentation, it's meant to last 30 minutes. This is a 40 minutes presentation long. And if you have any questions, write them in the chat. In the last 10 minutes, I'm gonna go back and answer any questions that you might have. In that way, you know what the content is about, and then we go back in questions. Okay, so get back to it. So you're in the right place if you are looking for that next dream opportunity. Okay, or if you are already in a great place but you really want to take that next level, and messaging is one of the most important things, because you can really leverage what you've learned in the place. Okay. Also, if you feel that your professional experience is limited and that now you're competing and you're in a work environment that asks for so many skills and knowledge and so on, right? You're in the right place if you want to stand out just from the competition, in a good way, right? You want to feel good that you are, leveraging your skills. So also, if you just want to network with authenticity, how many times you've been in this environment and then all of a sudden it's it's really tough to talk to people that you really look up to, right? And you're like, what am I going to say to this person? And this is how your professional value statement really takes into comes into play. So let me know which one out of these four resonates more with you. Why would you like to have a professional value statement? Let me know in the comments real quick. Okay, we'll get back at that. Okay, so here's what you learned by the end of this session. You will know exactly how to communicate who you are as a professional and show your passion behind it, right? Also, you'll be able to use your authentic voice, that voice that it's sometimes so hard to just show why you're really here, what you are in the game, right? To show your purpose, you know? Okay, and the third one, you're gonna be able to describe strategically your unique skills so you can really stand out in the industry that you wanna walk into. And I have one very amazing reward for hanging out today. At the end of the training, I will giving you the workbook, basically the questions that we're going to be working through. You can download this workbook, no email required, nothing. This is just really my gift to, in that way, you pay full attention to what's going on in here. And after you're finished, you can reflect, you can write down your things. And, you know, within a day, you'll have your draft professional value statement. How does that sound? Awesome. I'm reading a little bit of the questions here, answers here. So dream job, networking with authenticity, stand out from competition. Okay, I'm glad it's able to resonate with a lot of you. Okay, so stick to the end. In that way, you can get this professional value statement. And before going any further, okay, why am I here, right? Why is Isa, myself, doing here? And I just want to talk briefly about my journey. I come from a science background, but through my journey growing as a professional, I realized that there are so many challenges out there as a young woman. First of all, I think as a young professional, there are many challenges. Then, as a young woman, there are many other challenges in the STEM fields, right? Definitely, they are male dominated. They can be tough. I've been in two, companies that my impression was that, you know, in the entry level, it was pretty equal, men, women. But as you look up into leadership, less and less representation is there. And I was really troubled by this because, well, I'm here putting my hard work and so on. And when I look up to leadership, I was like, well, does this mean that if I keep working hard, uh, it's going to be even more challenging to get there? So after going through that phase, I realized that I was also missing a lot of non-technical skills, such as, you know, messaging, communicating, leadership, team building, and all this was crucial for me to keep advancing and feel, you know, authentic doing so, but also feel fulfilled doing so. So, as a quick, let's go back in time like 5 years, and so I am from Mexico, from the north of Mexico, and I went there up to high school, and then I live in the border area, so I was able to go to college to Texas, and that's where I did my degree. And I had a job there briefly, and then after that, I moved to Arizona, a nearby state, and here I, you know, kept spending my knowledge and so on. But again, I found the challenges of going into a new job, new project, so on. And out of a personal decision, and now I live in Hawaii. So if you ever come by and visit Honolulu, let me know, connect with me. So I'm here. But what I want to take away from this is because as I transitioned through my career, and actually I moved from private sector to public sector to private sector, I, I every time I did those jumps, I realized how important it's to really tailor your message to who where you want to work at. Does that make sense? So right now, through the professional value statement, really me mastering this was a necessity in order for me to keep advancing in my career and keep messaging the right message to the people too, because here's the thing: when you don't speak your message real clear, you leave an open opportunity for people to interpret what you seek, right? And we don't really want that, because you can have a person interpreting your actions as good, or you can have people interpreting not even paying attention, right? Or you can have people interpreting kind of bad. So we don't want that. Okay. um, and then I'm a project scientist, so I work in the industry. I work with mainly oil and gas, but I also work in the mining sector, water, wastewater, if that resonates with anyone. And also, I am the founder of the STEM Gal Network. This is an Instagram account. It's also available in LinkedIn. And this is a platform mainly to keep promoting the advancement of women in STEM. So, with that said, that's how I became involved with speaking gigs and just speaking out what is what it takes beyond our great non-technical skills to move the needle. Okay, so uh, that's kind of a little bit of my history, and that's why I'm here today, very gladly sharing what I learned through this journey, and also with the invitation for you to consider how can you better what I did, okay? And also share it with the community once you realize that. Okay. So what is a professional value statement? Basically, this is your genuine message that describes how you create and add value to the place that you are at. Professional value statement, and you'll see it in the next couple of slides, is just a couple of sentences where you can have a message where you tailor it to the company or to the industry or the institution that you want to work for. Or if, like I said, if you're already in a workplace, you want to know, like, communicate this to your professional network, maybe. And in that way, you're very clear what you stand for, where your potential is, and your skills are. And after you develop your professional value statement, you can repurpose it. So that's kind of the advantages that I like a lot about this, because you can repurpose this 2-3 sentences into your resume or your cover letter, or you can use it as an elevator pitch, or even in your LinkedIn summary. So this is so useful. And you might not use the same statement, because you'll see this statement is it's made out of 3 main components, but you can use portions of those, and that can be so valuable. Okay. So this is the simplified version how I thought we can go about the professional value statement. It starts with your passion. It starts with a question: what specifically do you do? Okay. And we're going to go over all these questions in a more deconstruct way. But this is just to give you the big picture. The second portion or part that follows your passion is a purpose, right? You want to know who specifically you are serving with your career. And you can tailor this, like I said, to an industry. You can tailor this to a specific field and a specific sector. You can be as detailed as you want or general as you want. And also, the most important thing, you want to highlight your potential, because you want to know, you want to let that person you're speaking to what your potential is. So how specifically are you going to help or support this company, this industry, this field? Okay. And potential comes again from experience, but also from what you can project in the future, your potential. So why owning your PVS, as my shortcut, your professional value statements benefits you? Well, basically, you ask these questions, and not only you communicate a good message, the other big benefit from this is that you get so clear in what you've done and where you're going. And I found that sometimes we have no reference point, right? When you're out of school, You might have some experience from your classes, you might have some experience from internships and so on. So as you keep moving on in your career, you can adapt this professional value statement, and you just keep asking the same questions. And these questions, you might have different answers like every year or every 2 years, and you keep shaping this better. Okay, so this is kind of the outline of how your professional value statement would look. So it starts with as a, and then your professional title. I offer, provide, and then you insert what's your competitive advantage. And again, at this point, let me tell you, we're gonna do it in a way that even if you don't have years of professional experience, we're gonna tailor a message for this. And then the application for the industry, business, and so on. What is the business result that you can that you understand that needs to happen in order for you to make a good job? And then also, this is the most important thing, you are doing all this for what, right? That's the outcome, and that is so important. I've seen over and over that when you know your outcome as a professional, it's a game changer, because it's like, think about a software, right? You can be the expert about the ins and outs and so on. But when you are delivering this to a client, I will see it that way. The client doesn't really care like how much complexity or simplicity went into it. They just want an amazing result. So same with you. Even though it's really important to highlight, we want to be really clear what's your outcome as a professional. So before we go into the material, I want to address first couple of comments. So these are the three most common mistakes that I see over and over. Thinking that your professional value statement has to be perfect. The second one is not telling a compelling story. You can fall short from this. And let me tell you, it's fine not to tell a compelling story at first. The work is into working towards creating that compelling story about who you are, what you do, and all these questions that I mentioned before. And also the last one, which I was really guilty of it, is fear to sound braggy, right? You don't, I struggle with this a lot, which is like, okay, I did this, but how do I really say it without sounding like I wanted spot, how do they say, like, steal the spotlight? Well, here's how you're going to do it, because you are using skills to back it up. You're using a general or a universal outcome from it, where you're, and I'll show you this, but I found that when I develop my professional value statement, I have no remorse saying what I do, because I tailor it, or the outcome is for common objectives. It's not only my objective, it's my company and my objective combined together. So I'll show you, and I'll be more specific. And you have to understand, this is an evolving tool that you elevate when your skills elevate. As you start specializing, as the year goes by, as you start getting more knowledge, or you start changing industries, maybe you decide to switch industries or fields or so on, you can also tailor this to be even more specific. And this is a tool that is meant to serve you at any stage of your career. And it's just a screenshot of who you are right now, right? And it's a screenshot of what you know, what is that you understand of the business, of the world, of the industry. But that doesn't mean that it's stagnant. It can evolve, it can change. Okay, there are a couple of things to consider, and I'm gonna show my face because this is a big one. Progress over perfection. I know sometimes when it comes to ourselves, we're a little bit more harsh, and we try to show a perfect face, a perfect messaging. Let's do the best you can, right? Because when you know better, you do better. And that's a promise I want you to make today. When you know better, you do better. Let's just put a rough professional value statement out there and work from there. The next one, no one will ever give you permission. So a professional value statement can be as visionary as you want, or it can be, like I said, as specific as you want. The thing here is that sometimes the outcome might be very visionary because, and I'll show you in a bit. But when it comes to your skills, your experience, and what you are allowed to say your experience on or not, it's perspective. I believe that the only way to really validate anything is through feedback. So if you want to put in your statement that you have certain skill where you don't feel that proficient, but you have examples to back it up by, if someone challenged that, it's feedback. No one will ever give you permission to dream bigger. It's really a personal thing. How much do you want to put into this? And that was big for me, because even though I was not the one making strategic decisions, let's say, in my work, that's what I want to aim for. And you'll see that that's exactly the word I use. So you just have to show commitment, that you are all in. And I think this tool does that so beautiful. Okay. And also, oh, sorry. Okay. And also, people pay attention to results. This is one of oh, sorry, I think I skipped a slide. Okay, how will you know for sure when you have the perfect professional value statement? You won't. You will put it out there, you'll need feedback. And think about when you are networking with someone, right? If it clicks and if that person looks interested and they're like, oh yeah, like, if you have a fluent conversation and they understand what's going on, that means that you're getting it. If whatever you have, it's just feedback, and then you can be like, okay, maybe I don't have really clear what the outcome is, but now you know, and you can work better towards it. Okay, going back to this, people pay attention to results, to your results, right? When you get hired for a job, it's because they want results. It's not that they want to see. Some people want to see already results that you completed, right? But they want to know if you can bring results to the table. And based on this principle is how we use what your experience, and or the experience that you're looking to transfer to talk to the results of your career overall. So let's dig into this. This is the first question that we need to be very, very mindful of. What specifically do you do? So a good start point is your degree title, right? You are a computer science person, you have a computer science degree, you have a marketing background, or you have a science degree, right? What an engineering degree. That's a good point. That's a good start. Now, can you be more specific? And this comes with experience. The more specific you are, I think the better your professional value statement gets. And also, it's about highlighting the industry's ultimate goal when you do this. So this is very similar to your overall vision within your career. What is like the ultimate outcome that you want to get? I remember I was reading somewhere that Microsoft famously had this vision, right? That as a software company, they wanted to put a put a Microsoft powered computer on every desk in the world. So here Microsoft is saying they want to that means they want to make software. But the ultimate purpose of what specifically you're doing, it's not just creating software, right? That needs a result. So the purpose of that software of the outcome is that everything they do is so they can have a computer on the desk of people, right? That's the outcome. Usually is your degree title, so what? Like you need to finish the sentence, right? So I have this specific example here. A computer science professional develops software. I just kind of went through that. But the outcome, and I grabbed this from actually a computer science like vision and mission paragraph I read. It's not only to develop software for the sake of it, right? The outcome is to solve the complex technological problems of modern society, right? The more we start using data, the more we need to uh, process it and use it for better, right? And also in a more simple way. So, what specifically do you do? So what, right? So you can do what? And and this is something that at first, if you are very new into an industry, it can be a very broad statement. But again, as you keep gaining experience, you can be okay. And you can get very, very specific. The next one, who you serve specifically. So I have a couple of scenarios here, but these are the main two questions that you're going to have to answer for your career. Are you aiming for a type of industry? And after you answer that question is what phase of the industry you want to talk or speak to, right? As a professional. So a lot of people tend to choose this who they serve based on the jobs or industries that they had in the past because they had an opportunity, they have a job there and they happen to be there. But my invitation today also is to reflect if you are in a type of industry, reflect, okay, am I enjoying this industry? I'm not enjoying this industry. If you are in the phase, there might be the design phase, the creation phase, the production phase, right? So an industry have many phases from beginning to end, right? Are you enjoying where you are at? And if you are, you can include this in your professional value statement. So I have here an example for this computer scientist fictional character that I created. He or she has an industry, and that is banking. And the phase that this person enjoys to be at, it's they like to be a product manager of a specific product they're developing for the banking industry. Okay, so how do you help the company or the industry? And here is where you are going to talk about your skills or methods that you are very familiar with. Here's what you know, right? Your unique experiences. And sometimes I've seen that it's good to speak to an industry gap because if you're speaking, let's say, to a networking event and you are one of the few doing a specific type of skill or technology, that can be like an attention gatherer, right? So consider how specifically you are solving a problem, right? And how you bring results to the table, like how you make that happen. This is your competitive advantage. Let it shine through your professional value statement. So also, this is a question where the person that is listening to what you do, they think, why specifically this person is good, right? It's a reality that in the job market, the professionals out there, they're competitive. We already talked to that, and it's one of the main challenges, right? But you know what? They are not you. Why you? And this is a question that I want you to like think. Why you over anyone else? Ask yourself this question. It is what you do um, easier, faster, effective, right? And this is if you have some experience. And even if you don't have professional experience, I want you to think about what a specific topic through your education you really had like a facility to work over that, right? And this is how you stand out. Experiences you already have or are looking to transfer those skills. It's really how you help the industry. Okay. I have some examples here. So it can be insightful data analysis. It can be statistical skills, right? Or high quality software design or risk assessment skills. What is one or two skills that you are really proud of? And also, this is very important, you have experience that support this. So, like I said, your experience can be from excelling in a class, right? If you have no professional experience, or it can be if you had an internship and you use this a specific skill, or if you have results already, you have 2 3 instances where you use this and you created a good outcome. Okay. And the final is, how will you add value? This is big. Okay, so while your competitive advantage describes past experiences, your professional value statement also, and this is like a big thing, needs to connect the dots to offer the value that you can bring to this new role, new position, or just to your field. Okay, think about how will you create value for, you know, for it. This allows people to create and imagine how, or think about what you've done and how that can transfer into what they want you to be part of, or so on, right? Or even if it's not in the moment, maybe later they can be like, oh, this person talked about this specific skill that it can add a value to what I want. So think about what, in order for you to add value, you need to understand what is the industry, what do the company cares about, right? What is really what their outcomes are? What are their goals, right? And I want you to think big here. I want you to understand what are the things that they want to accomplish, right? What are they measuring? Are they measuring, revenue? Are they measuring time savings? What are they measuring? And in continuing with our example, with this person in the industry, right? As a computer scientist, this person identified that the goals are revenue oriented, or also could be that they really care about retention within this specific bank. So they want to create amazing user experience. See, like you are understanding what drives the business. Okay. And as a bonus step, and this one comes with experience or more involvement in the field, I will say, is can you tailor it even more? If you already know who you're targeting to a company, an institution, feel or make them feel like you're speaking to them. Like sometimes there are trigger words that you only use if you are in that industry. So you can use it for the person receiving the message, know that, okay, this person gets it. This person knows like this secret word that they need. So I want to recap this. This is basically the questions that you ask yourself. Your passion, right? What specifically do you do? Who specifically you serve? To answer what's your purpose? And also to speak about the potential. It's how specifically you help this company, industry, field. Okay. Okay, and we're getting close to the 35 minutes, so let's wrap this up. Let's put all this together. So after answering the questions that I went through, I came up with this mock professional value statement. As a computer scientist, I take pride in offering strong analytical background to simplify businesses' processes towards advanced banking solutions. This is very specific. Clearly, this person has experience with banking software. He understands what the needs are, right? I want you to understand that this is maybe someone that has a couple of years in the industry or so on. Yours can be a little bit more general if you don't feel like you have all this experience or jargon or wording. But like I said in the beginning, it's work in progress. And the more you know, the more you can add to this. Okay. And let's put all this together even simpler. So we talk about a three-step process to do that, right? So the first one was the outcome, right? We wanted to know uh, what the outcome is, what you do. So this person is talking about banking solutions, a software. The step two, competitive advantage, right? What makes this person unique? Strong analytical background. Real world application is a step three, simplify business processes. He or she understands that this is a need in the business. Things are complicated. So this person, that's what it brings, simplify processes in the means of a software, right? Step four, and this is the bonus that we talk about, advanced banking solutions. When you say the word advanced, that implies, of course, that you have knowledge of what is not advanced and advanced. Okay. This is mine. As a project scientist, I take pride in offering my clients insightful data analysis for decision making and a strategic planning towards balanced environmental compliance. Now it's your turn. And I copied these two examples from a couple of value statements that I found online. And what I want out of this is you to identify what elements are being used here. And, you know, like I said, the more you exercise this, the more you can understand, okay, this person is talking about their competitive advantage, which is it's 10 years. On the second example, software development, maybe that's the outcome they're talking about. So I wanted to, as you learn more of how this is done, spot other people using these elements for their own. So wrapping up, imagine the confidence you'll feel knowing how to translate the knowledge that you have into industry's language. Imagine the freedom you'll feel knowing exactly what to say and feels good to talk about your interest and potential. Imagine how amazing it will feel to go into any room, interview room, meeting room, networking event, and know that your key message is on point. And the truth is that this fact, the professional value statement, is one tool from personal branding. And I don't know if you really have deep into this. Professional branding is, I can summarize it on this. The difference between who you are, right? Or sorry, who are you? Someone asking, like meeting you and be like, who are you, right? And thank you for being here, right? In your STEM career. Like, thank you for understanding our needs as an industry. Thank you for bringing your best, okay? And personal branding really is the process of influencing how others perceive you, right? When we talk about this professional value statement is how someone understands what you do, what you know, and so on. And personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual. If you're interviewing, you definitely want to leave very clear to the person you're talking to what is what you want. So this also allows you to elevate or position your authority in the industry. You elevate your credibility because you're doing everything with intention, and you differentiate yourself, right, from the competition. On the long run, you have a larger impact when you know what's your role in where you are, what you're doing. So I have here a couple of resources that I found so helpful when it comes to learning more about personal branding, but also with purpose in your career, not only for the sake of having a nice LinkedIn headshot, right? Or just being like, again, braggy about it. No, this is branding with intention. So these three books I read, they were amazing. And these two TED Talks, man, they changed my perspective completely. So my invitation is for you to keep learning about your authenticity, your potential, because like I said, this is an evolving tool that you need to just get better at it, okay? And I'm gonna recap this, but because we're short of time, I'm gonna do this. All right, so you can develop yours. And you need to do this. It's a must for us. Your message is essential for your next career moves, right? Your growth impacts your worth over time as a professional and also financially. And you have the expertise right now within you. You know what you know what you don't know. So leverage what you have. Use your professional value statement today and boost your confidence by using this statement and use it. Make the impact that you have to make. Okay? Thank you so much for the comments. I'm reading them. They're amazing. Okay. So thank you for being here. This is what you can access to download the workbook. Like I said, no email, nothing. This is really this is a working workbook to go over your questions so you can develop your professional value statement. And with that, I want to go back to the comments and see if there are any questions. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh man, no, sincerely, it cost me a lot to process it. And I was like, how can I make this really simple? So this is what I came up with. And like I said, progress over perfection. If you find, like you nailed it and you're like, oh, Isa, we can do this better, I invite you to connect with me via LinkedIn. I am as Isa Valdez. In Instagram, STEM Gal Network. This is a platform just to connect, right? And if I'm not sure if we're going to be able to share the presentation, but if we connect via LinkedIn, I definitely can share this with you. And also, I would love to know the main takeaways that you have from this. Vamos, borregos. How did your university help you get where you are right now? Gave me the technical skills. My university really gave me the skills to understand the business needs and what can be done. Professional experience, though, really, it's you have to like just get in the arena and like do the best you can. But also, I think it's a big thing. It's being mindful of what the people need, what the industry, even if you're in a team, right? Because I'm talking right now very big, the industry, the job. Think about what your team needs right now. And if you have any other questions, feel free to connect with me. And thank you so much for everyone showing up. I think we're approaching the 45 minutes. So if we get cut up or something, just let me know. Oh, sorry. You can find me as Isa Valdez. ISA. I'll put it. I don't know if I can put it here. No problem. No, thank you. And let me look just for questions. I went to the high school actually in Tec de Monterrey. So okay, so let's connect. Yeah, let's connect. Let's connect and keep advancing, keep rising. That's kind of my main thing. When I said what tool, Nishrin asked, the professional value statement itself is a tool. So this is something, like I said, it has key components that you can use. You can use 1-2 questions to tailor your message. But overall, I see this as a tool. Writing a user story, right? We are writing our own stories, right? And we want to make a compelling story for what we have to say. Oh my God, thank you so much for the feedback. And we have tons of comments here. Again, would you mind sharing the books and tech talks one more time? Yes. If everyone had a chance to wrote this down, it's a bit.ly link, Woman Tech SGN. Feel free to get there. And here are the books: Reinventing Yourself, The Third Door, Own It. They go beyond personal, personal branding. The tech talks are way more tailored to personal branding, but all of them make an incredible job to really think about what's your position in this, and also to think bigger. Sometimes we're limited by what we see. Thinking bigger can be a really good thing. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, Tune. Thank you so much for your comment. Okay, so has anyone watched this TED Talks? Um, the first one, I think he is in tech, Tate Trent. He is in tech, and he talks about how at first he didn't consider himself as a, or didn't see the need for it, and how it really helped him to move. I think, I don't know if he developed his own company. I don't remember, but it was so inspiring. All right, and my I believe that this also will be available at some point by Women Tech, which again I want to thank you so much for everything. No problem. Okay. With that being said, uh, everyone, thank you so much here. Did anyone had any questions about the process? Okay, I think I caught up with the comments. No problem, no problem. Thank you, everyone. Yes, and I'm gonna write my. You can find me just as Isa Valdez. There you go. Just my name. Um, and actually, on the STEM network, I try to um, invite also collaborators via Instagram, and we are constantly talking about this because here's the thing: we are work in progress, and we might not know everything, but it's good to connect because the more we know, the more we get to see other perspectives, other aspects. And this is really the vision of the STEM Gal network, to share so we can become better faster. When changing industries, so there's a comment, maybe what is the biggest challenge in creating a PBS when changing industries? So like I mentioned, oh, that's a good point. When I moved from my most recent job, I moved from public sector to private sector. And I created my PBS tailoring to like saying I deliver to my clients, and that's a big message that I try to use. And if we go into the need of it, well, if someone is reading clients and someone is reading, so oh, and also I added the balance environmental compliance. I know when it comes to compliance, a lot of businesses that's their biggest struggle. So sometimes you can think about what an industry or a company would really would like to solve, right? and and like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. You can try one thing that you think it's right, and feel free to share it with your colleagues, maybe your supervisors, and be like, hey, do you think this is what we're working so hard for here? This is the outcome, or if this is the big picture. And the more you talk and network with people, you get better at it. Someone posted the TED Talk link there. And yeah, that this one talks a lot about those business needs, how rather than be like how this Susan, I think in her experience, she shares how she would have different mentoring from men. Yes. And one of the biggest things was that with her, they didn't talk about numbers, they didn't talk about a business needs, and how important it is, because at the end of the day, we're all here in business, right? We're here in the business of using our knowledge and technology for the purpose of something. So that is the biggest takeaway. And the first TED Talk, Julianne, thank you so much, added that link here just a few seconds ago. Thank you, Donna. I really enjoy meeting each one of you and talking. And, do you have a draft professional value statement right now that you use? even if it's not complete how I explained it. Like I said, this is something that you can add as you go. I wonder if anyone wants to volunteer to write something quickly here. Um, Progress over perfection. For tech here, I'm not very familiar to be honest. So Allison asked in Hawaii, um, how is for the tech market. I know there's military, big military, uh, Pearl Harbor and so on. So I know that requires a lot of tech. That's where. Okay, so this time I was driving by the FBI headquarters, or no headquarters, but their offices. I was like, oh, here's where Edward, what's Snowden? What's his name? The guy that was in that big scandal a couple of years ago. Uh, so I know military definitely uses a lot of tech type of works. Oh, Patricia shared with us experienced service technician with a demonstrated history of working in gambling and slot machine industry. So that means that if I'm someone in that industry, I'll be like, oh, right here, like she knows. Skill in Microsoft Office, workplace safety, troubleshooting, and critical thinking. Strong technology professional with some programming knowledge and bachelor of science in electronics engineer from Degree University, looking to pursue a career in software development. Yeah, this is a good start. I will ask. So, and again, this is something that maybe until you're in the specific job you can figure it out, right? It's so are you, what would you bring to the picture, right? Would you make things, well, I think that you kind of mentioned it here. You can troubleshoot. That's a thing, right? And when it comes to troubleshooting, someone will say, oh, how do you troubleshoot? And then it's when you have 2 3 kind of examples on the back, on your under your sleeve, and you can be like, oh, right, this is how I troubleshoot this thing. Okay, so I think that's oh, hold on. There's a question. Do you have any advice for consolidating your experiences for a professional value statement if you work in a lot of roles? Here's the thing about the professional value statement. You need to tailor it to who you wanted to listen. So who would you like to listen to you, right? Did I say it right? Who would you like to tailor this message for? And that's a question where maybe you can do 2 3 versions where you target if you're open for options, right? You can be like, okay, maybe this for this type of industry, maybe this. But when we talk about outcome, that's why this is really good, because you really think, okay, how can I help this specific type of field or company, and then you get really really clear. So you could have couple made, right, that they might land in different places, but um, it depends the purpose. So if you're seeking something, you can definitely have versions, and when you speak to that audience, you can really use it. Now, if you're already an established professional and you're comfortable where you are and you just want to keep expanding, you can play more with the skills, right? Because then you can meet more people that have similar skills or might be interested in your skills. So I will say that the sections changes depending on what you really are 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 targeting you want to use this for. It's a tool. Remember, you can use a tool for many things. So what are you using this tool for? And then you use it. Okay, Patricia also shared here, data analyst with 12 years of experience in software engineering. Expertise includes data reporting, Python programming for data analysis, and writing queries and store procedures in SQL. Possesses a successful track record of collaborating with diverse teams and driving organizational growth, looking for data analysis and data reporting opportunities in tech industry. This is good. This has all the elements. I will challenge you to make it a little bit smaller, in order to say this like a quick elevator. But this is really good, and it can go into, you know, your LinkedIn summer experience summary as it is. It's good. But let's say if you're talking with someone, then you definitely want a more condensed version. So when sometimes the years of experience, you can substitute that with software with something that kind of talks about how you know that. And like I said, this is a trial and error. Sometimes you might say the whole spiel, right? And people are gonna be like, "Yep, I got you," or you see the confusion in the faces. This is where you can practice your body reading language skills, and you can be if they have a face of what or so, and you just get better at it. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. I'm gonna leave the session now. I was waiting for it to kick me out, but I think I need to leave. All right, thank you so much, everyone, and I appreciate your time being here. And you know, let's connect and keep rising. I hope you use it right now. Remember, you must need it.